Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Game 3 of the World Series is tonight, and we're heading into this game tied up 1-1. This morning, sports agent Doug Eldridge, founder of the DLE Agency and Achilles PR, is joining us live to weigh in as the Braves and the Astros battle it out. Doug, good morning. What are you thinking? Who are you putting your money on?
Wow, well, what a start to the series, right? You got to love this 2-3-2 format. The first two being played in Houston. We're heading down to Atlanta now for a 3-game stretch. It's knotted up at 1 apiece, as you said. And both games were a wild swing, right? No pun intended. So you're coming into Game 3 almost as if it's a reset. It's Game 1, because anybody could quite literally take this series. I have to put my thumb on the scale for Atlanta having 3 in a row like that. That's a huge advantage, and the fact that they're not coming out of an 0-2 deficit is significant. You have the number 8 and the number 10 media market, so you certainly have great viewer numbers. Matter of fact, Game 1 was up 17% according to Nielsen from last year. Really? So all things are looking good for Houston, for Atlanta, and for Fox.
I'll tell you what, I think Atlanta clearly the underdog here. I'm pulling for them. Do they have a shot here? I mean, the fact that they're tied up here, I think is surprising to many people as it is.
They really do. I mean, it's anybody's game, right? It's literally anybody's game. And as long as you're not talking about single elimination, when you have this 7-game format, 3 things come to the fore: injuries, experience, and execution. Right? You can't control injuries. You can't control experience. You either have it or you don't. So it really comes down to execution. What are you going to do in the moment when it matters? Every kid with a stick and a tennis ball and a cul-de-sac growing up imagined, the bottom of the 9th in Game 7 of the World Series. So it could quite literally come down to that, because there really isn't a clear favorite, which means the real winner are the fans.
We're going to see what happens. Again, Game 3 here tonight. We got to talk football, too. Rough game for the Ravens. We've got a bye weekend here this weekend. Rest up, get better. What do you think needs to happen?
Bye week is critically important. I've talked to you guys for years and always said the same thing. The bye week is the balance between rest versus rust. You want to get rest for your starters, for your backups, and most assuredly take care of your walking wounded, your injured players.
Right.
But you don't want to get rust, and that often happens. Now, they did come off of a jarring loss, but the Ravens, this bye week for the last couple of years has been quintessential. 3 years ago was when they made the decision to pivot away from Flacco and go to Lamar Jackson.
That's right.
The rest has been history. 2 years ago, they came out of the bye week and ran the table en route to a 14-2 record. Last year, the COVID year, was really significant because they went into the bye week. They lost 4 out of their next 5 games before having to run the table and win 5 just to make the playoffs. So this year is unique because they have so many injuries. Remember, this was the most prolific running team in arguably the history of football, who lost their first 3 running backs before Game 1 of the regular season. So they have found a way to keep the ball in the air thus far, and credit to them. But my only concern, Megan, my only real concern is the disproportionate amount of weight that Lamar is carrying on his shoulders. When you look at that Cincinnati game, he averaged 7 yards per play.
Right.
The rest of the Ravens, 2 yards. So they have to find balance coming out of the bye week.
And you don't want it to be a circus act. You want it to be natural and like you should be there. I'll tell you what, Doug, as always, great insight. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.